do you like for superconductors?
Posterior, that's next,
Okay.
not this.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do this.
Sometimes you'll see like a combo, you'll see sugar tongue and like
Yeah, Dallin was just talking about that. I think for a supracondylar, that's overkill. I think if you do a good posterior splint, and the error with posterior splints and elbow fractures is not getting them high enough, right? So if you do a good posterior splint that comes high enough and do a sling, you're not gonna have trouble with them moving in it. And then the sugar tom becomes superfluous. The only time we ever do those in the ER is with montages, where you actually really have to control rotation of the forearm as well. Yeah. You can almost use that for a posterior. You're like, yeah, okay, hurry up. So this one for sure you want to do supine with somebody holding the arm. So I'm going to cheat. Again, important part is it's immobilizing the wrist. 3 small enough, you can use a 3-inch. Very few kids will need a 4-inch. Little kids, you can use 2-inch for this. So
normally she's laying on the ground with her arm up in the air.
normally she's laying on the bed. One person's got her arm, so it's not doing this, and the other person's wrapping the thing on her.
Okay.
So the key with these is to make sure they come high enough. So again, I'm covering up the bad end of this stuff. So you can always fold. It's not death to fold the top of that. It's just style points, really. So elbows need to be splinted. Supracondylars, type 1 supracondylars need to be splinted right about 80 to 90 degrees, okay? Don't splint them at this. And this is why you have to hold them until the splint's dry, because if you walk away, they'll extend their elbow and then they do wind up at 60 degrees. So you're making sure it stays right behind, your holder's making sure you're right at 90. Getting it all covered, getting it high enough.
What's high enough?
So when they're sitting up, I ran out of H rep, but pretend that's covered. So when you're sitting up, that's probably a little too high. Let me show you high enough. Got armpit level, maybe a little higher. So it's sitting in the back holding the elbow. You just don't want it to end here.
Yeah.
Right? We see a lot of those, and with a supracondylar, if they're in there with no block to movement back there, then they come in and they are sliding out of the splint. So keep it at 90, keep it high enough. Immobilize the
X-ray
wrist.
afterwards to see if it's when would it be like, and the providers probably know this already, but when you would refer them to a hospital, would it be when traction was needed?
Just a variety of reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do x-rays after splinting, after casting. We don't splint and fracture splint, but we do x-rays after, usually when we've reduced or molded on a both bone or a tibia and want to make sure the alignment is still good. We don't often do it. Because you're generally for stuff you're splinting, you're working on your initial injury films. So,
And are you over the wrist there?
yes. Wrist is here.
So immobilizing the wrist and the
Yeah,
elbow.
and stopping shy of the metacarpals, so they still have good hand motion. But if you stop shy of the wrist, A, it hurts because they sit there and do this, and their hand also swells. So.
Is there a secret to keeping where the elbow is, those folds that you'll get on the outside, or do we need to worry about those, or?
No, you don't, and you'll have padding underneath, but usually you're using padding underneath this. I think the other thing too is you tend to get those when you're using a size of orthodox that's a little bit too big. But the flip side is you don't want one that's too small because then it will be weak, right?